Hello, and welcome back to PipeCast. On this episode of Hodge, Codge, and part of Burley Boy Summer, we have Prince Albert in a bag, not in a can. So let's go look at that blend. All right, here we have Prince Albert. Now, Prince Albert is comprised of Burley and Cavendish. It doesn't say black, but I would assume that it is the more American style Cavendish. Um, though I'm not seeing a lot of dark um, coloring here. Now this was previously produced in America, but as of 2021, it is now in the Dominican Republic, and this is a 2023 batch. So this is a Dominican produced Prince Albert here. You can really, you can. I mean, it's mainly burley. There's some darker specks poking here and there, which could be the Cavendish, to give it some sweet factor here. But I mean, it's well dominated with burley. So let's get over there so Zach can make some kind of joke. All right, that is Prince Albert. It is Burley and Cavendish.
So
Um,
you're the I thought I had so you're the one that had Prince Albert in the bag.
huh?
So you had the bag. I thought I had it. You had Prince Albert in the bag?
Yeah,
Well,
I
you better
gave it
let
to.
him
Huh?
you better let him out then.
You had him in the bag too. Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help that. I've been waiting to tell that joke for a hot minute now.
ever since we knew that we were going to be doing Prince Albert, you've been holding
That,
that one in.
that is an old classic if you're a prankster.
Yep. What was it? There's that one, and then there's the is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it or whatever. Those are the two pinnacles. But yeah, Prince Albert, yeah, he was in the can, and you got to let him out.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was kind of I guess I was a little excited to try it because I mean you hear about Sir Walter Raleigh, you hear about Captain Black and Carter Hall, but Prince Albert I think has more of a presence in the general populace zeitgeist. When it comes to tobacco, like everybody knows it because of what you just did. Um, so I was kind of excited to be like, yeah, I've had Prince Albert. Now I'm pretty sure. I mean, did people used to dip Prince Albert, or
Maybe.
has it? Because I know my grandmother, my dad's mom, she used to dip snuff a lot, and I thought he said that she dipped Prince Albert, but I mean, who knows?
And like I mean, I guess you can just about chew, smoke, or do anything with any tobacco if you're willing to fight through taste, or if you're smoking, like, chewing tobacco, I guess the syrup on it.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is Prince Albert. Um, this is the first. I've been smoking on it for ever since I got back from my trip. So I've been back for about a week now. I messed up. The timeline's all jacked up. I said that video that what is it? What did we
Irish
do?
Flame.
No, what we did before? Yeah. So in that video, I said that one was going to drop when the day I got back.
It was a
That one
week after
dropped.
you got back.
Yeah, it was a week after I got back. So 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 the timeline was all the way off. Doesn't matter though. I've been smoking this since I got back, and I was actually kind of quite. I was pleasantly surprised by it because it doesn't have much of a bag note. It's very natural, in my opinion. Like there's no evidence of any kind of flavoring. There could be a casing, but there's no added flavoring. It doesn't seem like based on tobaccoreviews.com. Um, Very natural, not much of a bag note. Um, of course, it's got a little bit of sweetness from the Cavendish, but um, it was fine. It was kind of like an all day kind of smoke, like when we reviewed Daughters and Ryan 3 sales, and there was another one that was very kind of like just it made you want to just work kind of. Um, I can't remember which one it was, but this one's fine. I mean, I actually I was so it was so pleasant. That's the best word I can come up with. That it got, it almost overtook Granger for second place. Um, just because I was just enjoying the moment so much. It's kind of like being in a movie theater and being in a movie for the first time and being in the world. Movie may not be great, but the experience sells it a little bit more. And I think
Hmm.
that may have been what happened with Prince Albert, because I wasn't able to replicate that exactly on the second or third smoke. It was still fine though. So, yeah, I think Prince Albert's worth it. I mean, I still think it's better than Carter Hall. It's better than Captain Black. Um, is it better than Velvet, Granger, Sir Walter? Probably not, but it's definitely better than Captain Black and Carter Hall. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of my opinion. I mean, it's got all the burliness that all the other ones have had. I mean, when you get down to it, there's not a lot of variation here. I mean, it's like Englishes, right? They're all kind of the same.
Right.
um, that's how all the codger blends are. It's kind of who can tap into the better combination of proportions and topping. Who can kind of hit it the best. And of course, that all comes down to your personal preference. Again, for me, I still think Sir Walter Raleigh does it the best. It hits that fine, it hits that note of being natural, but having a nice topping that complements the naturalness. Um, and the tobacco's not harsh. So, and I can't say that for a lot of the others. So that's kind of where we're at.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, it's a mild smoke for sure. A mild, way mild. Um, I've been thinking about the codger blends a little bit differently. I wish I would have had this analogy up front, but I would have been required to have smoked all of them like for a long time together to come up with it. So it's just funny that I'm here now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But a good way to look at codger blends, in my opinion, this is kind of strange. This might be strange, but is it's like bubble gum.
yeah,
And if you there's a kind of a through line with the classic bubble gum. So you got like Hubba Bubba, Zebra, um, Juicy Fruit, Double Bubble, and all gum flavored. When I say gum flavor, I mean bubble gum flavored, right? So nothing too fancy. Zebra might have a little bit, but I'll get into that in a second. But for Prince Albert in the can is Bazooka bubble gum.
yeah,
Uh, is it the best? No. But does it get the job done? Yes. And
mhm,
it's just a mild, like it's just like all the other ones, but less so. And that's
right,
what Prince Albert is to me. You have things that can knock it out of the park, out front, and it burns off like zebra bubble gum. You have things that are kind of consistent, but then have a drop off, sort of like velvet with juicy fruit.
okay,
But you're aiming for with Granger and Sir Walter, kind of your hubba bubba, your double bubble
mhm,
kind of things, where they're pretty consistent and they have a pretty consistent flavor and they don't drop off a cliff like after a little bit. I think Prince Albert, while yes, it's below them, it might actually be the most versatile though. To get away from the bubblegum analogy for a second, like you might actually could roll this in a cigarette and smoke it. That's how mild it is.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I can see
It's
that.
light, yeah, I mean it's lightly aromatic, light, super light. You can smell like a sugar casing on it, but of some sort, maybe like a touch of something, but it's
Yeah,
not like chemically. It's not terrible. It's just too mild to really care,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's kind of my personal preference. It's like if I only have Prince Albert, am I going to smoke it? Yes. Am I going to pick Prince Albert or Bazooka gum? No. And that's about it. And just like Bazooka, Bazooka comes with a comic book, and Prince Albert has, I think, the most attractive tin art. So,
oh, okay, yeah,
I mean, for the longest time, and very, very recognizable. I mean, I don't think I've ever not seen that in a pipe shop
yeah.
since I was. course, now that it's no longer manufactured in the U.S., it's a Dominican Republic export now. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think it does anything that blows my socks off, but neither does like the types of bubble gum I'm talking about with Bazooka. It's just mild, middle of the road. Um, smoke it if I got it, but not going to be my first choice.
Do you? I mean, I don't necessarily think that the codgers need a standard like we've talked about in the past. But if they did, do you think Prince Albert would be the standard kind of?
The standard as far as flavoring, probably, but I mean, like you said, there is no standard. You know why? Because they're all standard. They're all sort of the same.
Yeah,
So like if you were to say like in a standard, right, you want the best of them, so you would definitely want to lean towards Sir Walter.
yeah,
Because in my opinion, that is standard. They have a name, they have a reputation, so they need to be the best of a baseline. And that's, I guess, right now, Sir Walter.
yeah,
You have some pivots, so people could like Velvet more because I feel like it's a better plume. They could like Granger more because maybe it's a little bit more flavorful, but consistency wise, standard wise, STG blend, Sir Walter Raleigh really does kind of smash it out of the park.
yeah,
Um, in
yeah,
terms of just the high quality standard baseline. I mean, it's the most. I mean, this is everything that we're talking about on these. I mean, there's a reason why they're codger blends is because this is what everyone's grandpappy smoked.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If granddad smoked a pipe, he probably smoked Prince Albert, Sir Walter Raleigh, or one of the aforementioned ones that I've just commented on.
yeah. Now I'm trying to think what we have left. We have Borkum Riff, Amphora, and Half and Half. And of those three, I definitely think Half and Half is the only one left that I'm kind of interested in Amphora because it's closer to like an English. There's a lot more components there.
Mhm.
But I think Half and Half is the only one that I'm really kind of like it could it could knock Sir Walter off. Just kind of my thinking is like I think that one could do it. Of course, I haven't smoked it yet, so I don't know. But I got a feeling like it's the best of what's left that can do that. Um,
And I think if things aren't going to get too out of hand, um, I think I'm going to do something a touch different with half and half.
yeah, yeah, okay,
So might be a little bit of surprise to the viewers to see that, but like I'm thinking
yeah,
about doing something a touch different.
okay, yeah, and okay. Well, I don't think we need to spend too much more time on Prince Albert. I mean, I think we've kind of said what it is. It's kind of your middle of the road, you know, amongst middle of the road blends.
Mhm.
um,
It's
I
the
still,
most middle.
yeah, it's the most middle. Like I said, I think it kind of reflecting on it, it kind of does sit kind of in the middle right now so far. I think it is better than Captain Black. It's better than Carter Hall. Uh, trying to think what other ones we've had, but it's not as good as Velvet, Granger, or Sir Walter. I think that's all
Mhm.
the ones we've had, right? I'm not
Uh,
counting Gold Block. I'm not counting Gold Block or
Gold
Haunted
Dog
Bookshop.
just yeah, those are kind of moderny, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, you, I guess I would recommend it, but also it's kind of just one of those things where it's just like if you're going to recommend a codger, I'm going to recommend the best one. So
Mhm.
you know,
It's
like
like someone offers it to you, smoke it, but otherwise you don't have to go out of your way. Especially if you just grab a set. If you're really wanting to get, you know, into this, do start with Sir Walter Raleigh. If you don't really like it, really no reason to dive in. If you do like it, maybe try Velvet and then try Haunted Bookshop. And if you like those a lot, then go to Granger and maybe Gold Block.
I think so. The way I look at it is there's two different types of codgers so far. Whatever. There's the codgers that are very full and smooth and flavorful, which are Sir Walter Raleigh, Velvet, um, Carter Hall. I'll put that in that camp. Um, and I think Prince Albert kind of leans that way. And then you have another side, which is they're a little bit more rough around the edges, but also flavorful in a different way. Kind of flavorful in a dark fired Kentucky way, even though they're not necessarily like dark fired Kentucky, but they kind of have that edge to them, and that's Granger and Captain Black. And so kind of my thought is like, if anybody said, "Hey, I'm getting into it, I want to try Codgers," I'd be like, get Sir Walter Raleigh, get Granger, and then if you don't like either one, then don't even try anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it just depends on what route for me you'd want to go. Do you want the more flavorful with Sir Walter, or do you want the something more interesting and kind of exotic happening like with Granger? But and if you like both, then just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you can trail down our little branching, but I mean, and we could talk about this another time, but there really are kind of like two kinds of pipe smokers. There's kind of like what I consider an American traditionalist.
Yeah.
And then like sort of, man, like this is a rough one because you don't want to say like someone who has. It's funny because either way, I'm gonna do it because I'm just gonna have to knock both groups. So you might as well just insult everyone as opposed to being pleasant. But you sort of have because American traditionalists came out so good. You have like an American traditionalist smoker, which would be all the, and then you sort of have a maybe okay, like so like a sort of like a foreign classicist, like what I really want to say is like you got someone with no taste and you got a snob. That's what I want to say. Because that's the easier way to explain it. You have people who are real snobbish about their tobacco and people who are just real easygoing, but they don't have any taste. Well, this tastes great. My dad's like that. He was like, "Oh, this is awesome." I was like, "This tastes like mud." And he's like, "Well, I mean, we are in Golden Corral, I'm like, "Well, there you go, Like, he goes, "This is the best thing I've ever had." I was like, "Did you taste it? It tastes horrible." I was like, "That roast beef is fat. It's not even. There's no beef." Like,
it's roast fat.
And then you have some people that they take it too far and they're sort of an elitist, and that's sort of But I think if you find yourself in the classical camp, like Englishes, more natural tobaccos, you're probably not going to find anything underneath Sir Walter Raleigh if you don't like snub your nose at Sir Walter Raleigh. And an American traditionalist, sort of like a working class type of smoker, maybe blue collared lineage, you're probably going to find some gems in this if you're willing to kind of push through it. I think once you go beyond Prince Albert, you're going to be in a like, am I supposed to roll this for a cigarette or am I supposed to smoke it in a pipe?
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, it's kind of where we're at. Luckily, me and you, we kind of wander in both worlds. We're not snobby, but we like to, we like a lot of those blends that are kind of more.
I mean, like if we were snobs, we wouldn't be trying all this stuff. Some people refuse to even try an aromatic or try anything, and I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I think flavor is found everywhere. I mean, so you just smoke it up.
Yeah. So, well, that's Prince Albert. We got a couple more Burley Boy Summer to get through. Some more dark fired, so look forward to those, and then we'll kick off spooky season after that. Yeah. Again, Prince Albert. Let us know if let us know if you've had it, if you like it. Whatever your experiences are, let us know in the comments. We'd like to hear that. We love hearing different people's opinions and things like that. So yeah, just let us know, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you then.